Yep. And we live. We just gonna wait for some people to come up in here.
Okay.
Jomel, don't get on my nerves. Hey, Auntie Pee Wee. They late today because they ain't used to me coming on at this time.
Oh.
Especially me with a Joseph Rants. But y'all said y'all want it, and now you got it. Joseph Rants. Hey, Roxanne. I hope you're feeling better. All right, we're gonna get started. You know, this is me. I'm not giving y'all a countdown and all that stuff because, like Tramel tells y'all, that's his thing. That's what he do. Y'all lucky I was able to pull this up and get both of us on here because he is knocked out sleep. So, everyone, hey Trisha, hey Auntie Peewee, hey Roxanne. My bad for anybody else who's in the chat that didn't type nothing for me to say hello to. But we gonna get started because she gotta sell houses and make money.
Right.
Keep her away from her coin. So y'all, hey Melissa. Today I have, and I feel proud to say this, one of my cousins, one of my little cousins, I have to say little because all the rest of us, I mean, she ain't far behind us in age, but if you on my Facebook page, you always see I post pictures and say the original six, and she's never in them because she came along way after we were older. But
Mm-hmm.
this is my cousin Kyla Mallet, and Kyla, uh, is it Kyla's Keys to Real Estate?
Mm-hmm.
That's her business. Kyla's Keys to Real Estate. When we finish, I want you to drop. I'll drop your link in here so everybody can join your YouTube page. She has a YouTube page where she gives information and she teaches information, and she's really good at what she does. Really good at what she does. People on Facebook, I'll be proud because I'm in a group of black entrepreneurs and stuff that people have their own businesses, black owned businesses, and whenever someone asks for a black realtor in New Jersey, Kyla's name always comes up. I feel proud because that's my cousin, my little big cousin now because got two kids of her own.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all, past my intro. Hey, Val. Val is my other. See, Val is one of the original six. Kyla is one that came on afterwards. That's why, and they get mad at me when I say original six, but they know what I mean. They know what I mean. Growing up, when we were younger, it was just the original six of us. And then by the
Sure.
time we were teenagers, that's when Kyla and her sisters and one of my other cousins' brothers came along. And that's why we say we were the originals, my grandmother's original six, because we were always together, always doing stuff. And then by the time they came along, we were old enough to take care of them.
That's true.
So, y'all, Kyla, give everybody, they know your name, but let them know how long you've been doing what you're doing and what you do.
So I have been in the real estate business for about 18 years. Currently, I am a realtor. I started in the business at a title company, um, and then I worked for a law firm. But I've been doing real estate, selling houses full time for the last 7 years.
Okay. And you like it so far?
I love it. I love it. I love going into the homes and I like to see how people decorate their homes. But the best part is being able to put families in homes.
That has to be a good feeling, especially for people that really like. I know somebody who you just got a house for, and you did a fantastic job because I love her house.
Thank you.
But knowing how, knowing that, and I'll tell y'all it was my sister, knowing how bad she wanted a house, and Kyla was taking her out like during the pandemic.
Yep.
During the pandemic, taking her out and no, you don't like this. Let's go see this. No, we don't like this. Because she the type she's Kyla knows what she doing, Joe. I love it. She was like, no, Trey, we don't like this. No, we don't like, no, we like this. I said, but that's what everybody gets from her. Everybody that posts anything about Kyla will says that she's just not gonna sell you anything. That she's gonna take pride in what she's doing and make it happen right for y'all. So basically, somebody Auntie P, we hold on to that question because we're gonna let her answer questions afterwards. But they do, I'm sure they do. But we can answer it now. Auntie P, we said, do they have first time home buyers programs, especially during the pandemic?
Absolutely. Just when, if you're getting a mortgage, that your mortgage person will have all of that information. They'll be able
Well,
to tell you what programs you qualify for.
break it down for them for first time home buyers because I saw your video and it was perfect. Like for somebody like me that don't own a home, that was perfect information for somebody that's looking to buy a home.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your credit is on point. Um, I believe right now, if you're at like 620, that's a good score and they can get you qualified. So you just want to check your credit. And then the next thing you want to do is talk to a mortgage person, a mortgage broker. You can start with your bank, where you bank, because that's probably where you're most comfortable. And if not, like there are other mortgage companies that just specialize in mortgages for homes that you can talk to. And you want to get what's called pre-approved. And what they do is they obtain all of your financial information and let you know how much house you can afford. Because the last thing you want to do is go out looking at all these gorgeous homes only to find out you can't afford it. So if you get pre-approved first, then we can go out and start looking at the homes that are within your budget. And so once we start that process, it can be very quick or it can be a long process. It's definitely been a long process during the pandemic because there's a shortage of homes on the market right now. So if you're a buyer right now, it's taking a little bit longer to get you into a home because homes, number one, they're moving very, very quickly. Um, and they're also selling for above the list price, and not everyone is comfortable with doing that right now, paying 20, $30,000 over what the seller is asking for. But like Joe said, I have been able to put families in homes during the pandemic, and it has been truly a blessing. um, so once we start that process, we start looking at homes, we'll put it in an offer. I help you negotiate, the price. And once it's accepted by the seller, then we move into the rest of the process, which is the inspection, the appraisal, and then getting you to that closing table.
Yeah, for people that don't know, because there are people that have never tried to buy a house. They
Mhm.
know about the loans, but can you tell them what like the inspection and the appraisals and all of that is about?
Okay. So once you go into contract, what happens is you'll go into a 3-day attorney review process. And that's where your attorney and the seller's attorney go over the contract and finalize all those deals, all those, terms of the contract to make sure it's all legit and benefits everyone. And then we will schedule a home inspection. You call a home inspector, and what he does is he comes in and he goes through the entire house with a fine-tooth comb. He's turning on the dishwasher, the washing machine, he's running the water in the shower, he's going up in the attic, he's going down in the basement, he's going in the crawl space, he's going to do a termite inspection and just let you know everything that is either wrong or right with the property. He'll go up on the roof if it's a single family home. And so he puts together a report that you get a copy of. And then you can take that report and the items that he says need work, like if the roof is at the end of its life, or if the furnace is time for that to be replaced. He'll give you all that information, and you can then in turn ask the seller to either repair these items or give you some type of credit. Very rarely do they just say, absolutely not, I'm not doing anything. There are homes that are like that, but usually you know that ahead of time. Like the seller will tell you, this is an as is sale. I'm not making any repairs. You're on your own for anything that's broken or needs to be fixed. But so once you've done that part of it, and you and the seller have agreed to whether or not they're going to give you credit or do the repairs, once that portion of the deal is finalized, then your mortgage broker will send out an appraiser to appraise the value of the property. And so they'll go out, they take pictures. I think during the pandemic, they haven't physically been going to the home. They've just been relying on the photos that are online, and then the comparables that they can get from the system to determine what they believe the value of the home is. And depending on that, if that number comes in good, like let's say that number is higher than what your offer is, then you're good. You're good to go. Now, if that appraised value is lower than what you've offered for the property, you again have the opportunity to either renegotiate with the seller to see if they'll come down to that price, or if you guys want to say like split it, like meet in the middle, they come with some of the money and you come with some of the money, or I mean, you can walk away from the deal at that point too. But once everyone's squared away on the purchase price after the appraisal is done, you get to that closing table and money's exchanged, keys are exchanged, and you bought yourself a house.
Now, I'm gonna ask you. You might not know the answer to this, but I've always heard that if you were part of a credit union, it's better to go through your credit union to buy a house than a regular bank. Is that true, or just is it? Do they make it easier than a bank to get a house, or?
No, I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I try to stay out of the money portion of it. I always refer my clients to their mortgage person to get those types of answers. But so I don't really know for sure. Honestly, when it comes to that portion of it, like this is the biggest purchase you'll ever make in your entire life, unless you like fancy cars. And, you know, but because you're spending so this amount of money, I always say don't just go with the first, like don't just talk to the people at your bank. Ask around to a couple of different mortgage people because they'll know all the different programs that are available. They will know and then the fees change from bank to bank or mortgage broker to mortgage broker. But with the credit union, I'm honestly not really sure.
See, and I ask because I know when it comes, like you said, fancy cars. I know when it comes to cars, they're better for buying a car than just financing through the car dealership or however.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. How much different is it when you're selling your house?
It's not much different. Obviously, it's if you're selling, you're not going out with me and looking at a million different unless you are upgrading or downsizing, you know. But for the most part, selling is not much different because what happens is now you're not doing obviously a home inspection. You're also not doing an appraisal. That's on the buyer side. So for selling, you just really have to you do want to prepare your house ahead of time. Like if you see like paint that needs to be touched up, or like that maybe your furnace is not up to code, or your hot water heater, like you should know ahead of time those things, because then you can say, we know that a furnace is at the end of its life, we are not going to replace it. Or I do know that my furnace is at the end of its life, I'm going to give you a $2,000 credit. But really, for the most part, you kind of just sit back a little bit and just let the buyers come in and out, and you really don't have to do anything outside of when it comes to the home inspection. You have to make a decision as to whether or not you're going to make those repairs or offer credit or not do anything. And then you sign your papers ahead of time. You don't even have to show up for closing. You can go to your attorney's office, sign those papers, and they'll attend closing for you.
That looks easier to sell a house. But what about, okay, so what about, like, I watch a lot of shows on TV. I want to know, have you ever had to do this? Somebody came to you and said, Kyla, I want to sell my house. And you like, okay, you need to fix this stuff because nobody's going to buy this with your house looking like this. Meaning, not that it was dirty, but just the furniture was old, or the paint was old, or you had to tell them that you're never going to sell this. You got to do upgrades before we even put it on the market.
You do. It's not an easy conversation to have with a seller, but because everyone thinks that what they have, like they put a price on it. And so they think, well, my house is worth this amount of money. Well, if you haven't upgraded the kitchen since you bought it in 1982, you're not going to get that
Right.
top of price. So do you want to spend the money? Because kitchens and bathrooms are what sell homes. So if you've updated your kitchen and your bathroom, you're good to go. But again, you don't have to spend that money. You don't have to do that. But when we go to price it to put it on the market, you have to understand that we're pricing it to sell with your 1982 kitchen and the wallpaper in all the bedrooms.
Right. Because you ain't never lied to me. As long as the kitchen and the bathroom is good, you can compromise on the bedroom here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as the kitchen and the bathroom look decent, we good to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what was I gonna ask? Y'all can ask questions in the chat if you want, because you know I pay attention to the chat. So I will ask her as y'all typing in the chat. So, is there any advice that you would give a first-time buyer to look out for, or maybe not to get taken by, or things like that?
So, if you're in the market right now to look for a home, I would ask that you be super, super patient because it's like I said, it's a seller's market right now, which means that sellers are able to get what they're asking for their homes because there is a shortage of homes on the market right now. So if you're looking right now, I would just say just to be patient. We will find what you want. And if you're a first-time home buyer, one of the things I do tell all my first-time home buyers is this is your first home. This doesn't have to be your forever home. So are there things that you're willing to compromise on? Do you want to buy a condominium or a townhome versus a single family home? Because, do you want the maintenance that comes with a single family home in your first home? Or would you rather, we want to take it easy. We don't mind paying the maintenance fee if we can afford it. And, we'll go that route. And then in 3 to 5 years, when we're ready to sell, then you upgrade. The bigger things would be to definitely, like I said, check your credit and save, because your closing costs are typically, I think it's 2 to 5% of your loan amount. So you definitely want to have a nice little cushion saved when you go to purchase as well.
That's a lot of cushion.
It is, I know. But again, first-time home buyers, there are programs out there. So definitely check with the state. I would ask, your mortgage person what is available. Because you also have the down payment too, which there are loans out there that only require 3%. I know everybody's always heard, 20%, you need 20% down to buy a house. That's not necessarily the case anymore. Like if conventional loans are doing 3% down now. If you're a veteran, you don't have to put any money down. So, but it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
A lot of money. And your cousin don't save money.
We need to talk about that, Joe.
No, the house we in now, we really thinking about buying it because you know where I'm at. Houses are dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So we really thinking about buying this house. I really like this. The first one I couldn't stand. I hated it. But this one I really like. And it's like you said, I like the kitchen. The bathroom, but I love the bedroom. Like the bedroom, that's where we're at right now. In my bedroom, it's humongous. It's like a loft. It's the whole size of the house. So we love it. We thinking about buying it, and that's another thing. Let me ask you how that works, because you may know because my landlord, all the houses that he does rent, he rents with the option to buy.
Oh,
So is that like when I say a standard, is there a standard that landlords follow, or they just make up their own rules when they do stuff like that?
think they make up their own rules. So if you were to do something like that, when you do the contract, you want to make sure you go through it with a fine tooth comb and make sure that it doesn't just benefit the landlord. Like everything you pay, like with your rent, like all of that should go towards you buying the house. Like all of that should be built in. If you have to pay for any, like I don't know how your lease is set up, but like if you have to pay like maintenance on anything, like if anything breaks and you have to foot the bill for that, like all of that should be built into your contract to buy.
Well, right now, the only thing we have to do is take care of the lawn, and that's
Okay.
it.
Oh, that's
Anything
good.
else, I call him, he comes fix it. Because I know my other friends are renting from him, and they told like for a year, I think he would increase your rent for a year, and then and all that extra money is going to go towards the purchase of the house, and then the after a year, it will go back to your regular rent. I'm just going by what they said. I have to find out from the landlord, because people tell you whatever they want to tell you, and then you talk to the person to be something totally different.
Different.
But I'm like, wow, that's a lot of rent.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I mean, if it's going to go towards the purchase of my house, then I don't care. But if
Right.
it's going in his pocket and like 3% is going, no, that ain't going to work for me.
Right.
So that's why I asked. Is it? I have a question for you from Val. Is it a good idea to bid more money over the seller price? And if so, how much should you go over?
Right now, during the pandemic, yes, we are seeing homes go for like 20, $30,000 over asking price. Now, there's an issue with that because the property still has to appraise. And I ran into an issue where a buyer bid over list price. It wasn't a lot. It was like maybe $5,000, and the property didn't appraise. So we're as soon as that appraisal comes in, we're back at the table renegotiating the price. So the seller in their mind, they're thinking, they're getting $250,000 when the property is only worth 230. So it's more disappointing on the seller's side because you have to make a decision. Am I going to let go of my property for this 230, or do I want this 250? Now, there are buyers out there who are willing to pay that extra money. But not everybody wants to do that because what happens is when you buy over asking like that, you're not allowing yourself any equity in the property at all because you're already over what the property has been appraised at. Now, if you stay in the home for 30 years and pay off your mortgage, then you're fine. But if this is your first home and you are going to move in 3 to 5 years, the price may not rise that quickly. It really depends. The market is up and down all the time. Um, but what we're seeing right now, I talk to my broker about it all the time, and he's like, in all his years of doing business since the 90s, like he's never seen anything like this. It's crazy.
So I have another question. Well, this is what I heard when I did have a house. Because people on my block got happy because I did that. I bid more than what they were asking for. And because they took it and the house did appraise for what I bid, the I by purchasing that house, I just made everybody on the block's house go up. So when you do that, even if everybody house on the blocks is say only worth 260, but you buy the house for 270, you just raised everybody's house $10,000 because they all gonna follow suit now when they go to sell their house.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. You also raise everybody else's taxes too. People forget that part of it because then your house gets reassessed by the city, and then your taxes go up. But no, that's exactly what happens. Everybody, because even in my where I live right now, what the homes are going for, I said to Alvin, I was like, do we need to consider like selling right now because we would, the way the prices are, it's absolutely insane. But yeah, you do like if my neighbor sold their house for $300,000, but I'm thinking, my house is worth 250. Clearly it's not because their house just sold for 300. So I can put mine on the market for 300. But yeah, you definitely drive up everything.
But then you could even do 305. You
You
just because,
could. Yep.
and that's what people do. They start going up higher and higher and higher, and that's how they raise the value of their houses because one person wanted a house so bad
Yep.
that they overpriced it.
Yep. Exactly.
I learned because she's actually doing about something that I consider doing in my life. I just don't. Y'all know me. I just never pursued it because y'all know me. I'll get excited about something today, and by Friday, I don't want no parts of it no more. So I did learn a little bit and pay attention to a little bit of things that was going on. And I'm like, Kyla, I like going in the houses and seeing them. But when they have killer cats and killer dogs, watch some of the videos on YouTube. When the real estate agents go in the house and they be scared because the killer cat. There was one that was hilarious. The cat wouldn't let the lady out the room. He just put it in front of the door, and every time she tried to get out, it just hissed and tried to scratch her. It would not let the real estate agent out of the room.
God, see, and that's what, like, I really wish people would put their animals up when they know we're coming. I had a showing one time, and like, there's like a note on the door: "Don't let the cat out of the room." I'm like, why? Like, what is this cat? Like you want to see every bit of the house, but like, whatever.
Right? It's like it's a waste of time because maybe that was the one room that would have sold your house.
Mhm.
Because of course, in the room they don't want nobody to go in. The
Right.
one room that's probably the dirtiest, or the one
Mhm.
room that's probably got the mirrors on the ceiling that they didn't take down. Y'all, if y'all have questions, y'all better ask. Now, let me ask you about investment properties.
Mhm.
How does that work? Because I know a lot of people like buying houses and flipping them and then either renting them, but like that's what my landlord does. He buys
Mhm.
them. He semi flips them. He don't flip them 100%. So you never really know what you're gonna get till you get in here and be like, oh well, this is broke, that's broke. You need to go. Like me, when we hooked up the wash machine, all of a sudden I have a flood in my kitchen. I'm like, where's the water coming from? And
Mhm.
but I can't lie, he comes instantly.
That's
Is
good.
he came that day and sent somebody over, and they had to fix the whole unit in the wall and what have you. But I can't. But it's my mind. It should have been fixed before I got here. So when it comes to flipping, do they have to live in it? Because I know sometimes they have to live in it before they sell it, or how does that work?
Sometimes, so that depends on if you buy like a bank-owned property, because sometimes bank-owned properties have requirements. Like it has to be owner occupied, so meaning you have to live in it for a little while. Some like if you have buy like a condo or a townhouse, like some of those developments require you to like own it for a period of time before you can flip it. But for the most part, like if you're just buying, a two-family house, you can outright buy, and there are loans for that. There you can get like, let's say you buy like a bank-owned property that's crap, like it needs all kinds of work. I actually sold their REO property, real estate owned, bank owned properties prior to the pandemic for like 3 years. That's like all I did. So I was in and out of all these bank owned homes. And sometimes the banks would fix them up beforehand. And so we would sell them to families, like own people who were going to live in them. But then we would get properties that were complete crap, but perfect investment properties because you buy it dirt cheap, you put the money in to fix it up, and then you either flip it for a profit or you hold on to it and rent it out and make your money that way. But it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like I'm not handy at all. So if I wanted to get an investment property, it would pretty much have to be almost ready to go. Like if I just need to do paint and, change, update the bathrooms in the kitchen, like I could do something like that. But like to do, like I've walked into homes that have needed like walls,
So,
floors, and it's crazy. But there are people out there who like that, who that's what they do, or they have the money to hire the contractors to fix it up and get it ready to flip it.
okay. But yeah, that's what my neighbor said, that my house, where there's a wall now, there wasn't a wall before me and Tramel moved in.
Uh,
So landlord went and he must have really flipped this. I don't know what he did, but I know this upstairs is banging. Only thing I want to change up here is this little nasty 1970s shag rug that's up here.
whew, whew, yeah, yeah. Mm-mm.
But past that, everything else, I love it. I love it. So, oh, I was going to ask you a question about I just lost my whole train of thought, and I had a good question to ask you about purchasing. With purchasing a home, do you think so? Let's say somebody that's in. What's the difference? Because this always kind of confused me. So I'm sure it might be confusing people between a condo and a townhouse.
Okay.
Because I've seen condos that look just like people that say they got a townhouse, but it's a condo. So that's what I'm asking.
Right. So the difference comes with the association bylaws. Whatever the bylaws say, like, okay, so with condos, everything on the inside and on the outside is usually covered by the homeowners association. So if your roof needs to be done or your um something goes like inside, not inside, outside, like the roof needs to be done, siding needs to be done, that's usually covered by your association dues. And with the townhouse, you're usually on the hook for that. Like if you need a new roof, then you've got to pay for that. But you don't get to do like your own thing, because even like your front door, if you need to replace the screen or the paint starts chipping, like you have to get permission from the association to change those things, and it has to match everyone else in the condominium development. Usually with townhomes you have a little bit more leeway, so if you want to put a screen on your door you can. If you want a red door instead of brown like everybody else, you usually can have that. So it's usually, you just have to read the bylaws to see like what you're responsible for as the homeowner and what the association is responsible for.
Okay. Because when I had a townhouse, I couldn't put a screen door. I couldn't
Mhm.
change the color of my door. I had to get permission to put a deck where both my neighbors had a deck, and I just had a space. I had to get permission. I said, "So you telling me if the two of them say I can't have one, that I can't build one back there, and they both got one?" It was like a mess. I'm like, why do I didn't pay this much for a house to get permission to do
Right.
what I want to do to my house. I mean, I wasn't doing nothing
Right.
extra.
Right.
But it's just like little stuff, like you said. Now, on the flip side, I know somebody else who have a townhouse that they don't have to do nothing.
Mhm.
They get the roof fixed, they get shoveled, they get everything that I didn't get, they get.
Mhm.
So I guess it just depends on where. Now, would
Where
you recommend a condo over a townhouse or a townhouse over a condo? Or it's just based on the rules that you want to follow?
the rules that you want to follow, it's a personal thing for everyone. It's just, you know, what you want to do. Like, do you want to shovel snow? Do you?
No, I don't want to shovel snow.
Especially after this year. Good Lord.
Again, y'all don't know snow like I know snow.
Right. I forgot.
Y'all know that kind of snow, but just imagine that every day.
That is crazy.
I'm surprised it's nice and hot and the snow is melting because by this time last year it was still snowing.
Jeez, that is insane.
It's crazy. So, what, with, so with the pandemic not slowing down, because I know you said there's a shortage. So is it because people are not selling their homes, or is it because people are selling their homes and then the people that are buying them realize that Because I know I keep hearing that interest rates low and everything else is low. So is that why everybody's scrambling to buy one so that people that are selling, they just making out like a bandit because everybody's buying up houses now because it's like the best thing to do now?
So people aren't putting their homes on the market. And I think it's because they're nervous about people in their homes because we are in the middle of a pandemic. So
Right.
you're concerned about all these strange people coming in and your out of your house, on a daily basis. So that's part of it. But then, right, so the interest rates did drop. For a long time, they were under 3%. I think just recently they went up a little bit. So with that happening, buyers were like, oh, you can afford so much more home now with that smaller interest rate. So they were like, well, let's do this. Let's go. So you had an influx of wanting to buy homes hit the market, but nobody's putting their house on the market. And even people who want to sell are hesitant because they're concerned that they're not going to find another place to live. So, but we're hopeful that this spring will see some more an influx in homes coming to the market, but you just never know.
I wanted to buy that one you was in on, was it YouTube or Facebook the other day? I was like, oh my God. And you said right over there is a whole nother apartment.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
God, I would love that. Tramel get on my nerves. I'd be like, I'm going to the other apartment.
That it had a whole nother, like it was like a whole nother house. It was 2 bedrooms, another kitchen, another living room. It was insane. Insane.
And I'm sure the price was insane.
It was. It was.
You get a two for one. Hey, Love Kings. Thank you, Melissa. I'm glad you're getting some information that can help you. Let me see. Anybody else got questions? Type them in the chat. Type them in the chat because we can only do so much questions on buying houses unless you're going to buy a house. But yeah, I think Tramel keeps saying, I like this house, and he keep wanting me to do stuff. And I keep backing down because my thing is I'm not fixing up somebody's house for me to have to move or me to say I'm moving. And then you have this upgraded house. And
Mhm.
I'm like, no. So when we make up our minds, that's because he's like, well, we could paint, we could do it. And not if I'm not buying it, I'm not. Hey, Terry, thanks for coming. And if I'm not buying it, I'm not. I probably will, but like they just did a fresh coat. Like they did everything fresh in here. But then again, when I heard from my neighbors that the police used to be here every night,
Ooh.
they had dogs that they just let roam the backyard, which is true. Because child, when the snow melted and I saw it was their backyard, I was like, Jesus Christ! I said, I'm gonna need a landscaper for the front and the back. I gotta go back there and get all them toys up because I don't want Joe Mel playing with them other dogs. The ball's fine, but it's like massive amount of dog toys back there. There's kiddie pool. I'm like, who would let that? It's like they put sawdust over the grass so that the grass would grow. And I'm like, okay, well, the whole purpose of me wanting this backyard was so my dog could come back here. We have cute little barbecues and the family come
Yes,
over.
yes, yes.
And I'm like, Tramel, are you going in the backyard? He was like, yeah. I said, no, 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 go in the backyard. Because I'll take Jomel out there in the morning. I was like, oh, I said, like, it's discouraging the amount. I said, I'm not doing this myself. Like, I'm not turning dirt. You know that. You know I'm not getting out there with a hoe and hoeing. That's just not, I might hoe, but I ain't hoeing in the backyard. So we gotta find a landscape. Like even my front door, there's no path. It's like just grass. I'm like, well, if somebody wanted to walk up to my front door, like, is it just there for show? Are you just supposed to always walk on the side where the porch is, where the driveway is? Like, what if somebody wants to come up? Like, if you came and parked in front of my house, you literally have to walk all the way up my driveway or walk through my grass to knock on my front door. And I'm like, this ain't aesthetically right. Then I guess when they were fixing it, they drove a truck up on the lawn. So I got these big tire tracks in it. And like, I said, Tramel, we got our work cut out for us. I said, the only good part about this looks like is we ain't gonna have to mow in the backyard. The front, I know is gonna get to the point of where it has to be mowed, but it's just it's too much. It's too see owning a home. See, I don't know if I could do that. I need to be able to get on the phone. Listen, you need to fix this because I'm not. I'm not.
See, you need a condo then.
A townhouse or a condo. Well, no. Well, it depends. As long as somebody, if I call somebody and they come fix what's wrong when it break, I'm good. I don't want to have to wait and call a plumber and call a refrigerator. I don't. That's how people always ask me, why you don't own a house? Because I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's a
You know,
lot.
it makes sense to own a house. It does. I get it 100%. I've owned that. You came to my house when I had it in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
But when stuff started breaking, and I realized there was no landlord to call, there was no maintenance department to call. I had to sit with a broken toilet and got a water bill of over $20,000 because the water just running. Luckily, I just had to send them the bill of getting it fixed, and they wiped the bill clean. But still, just seeing the bill say $20,000 for the plumber to come to fix your toilet, that's an issue. I could have died of a heart attack before the plumber got there when I saw the bill. It's a lot. It's a lot, and people don't understand. It's a whole lot. Now, is it different when you are purchasing a house that's being built, other than it being built to your specifications, than when you buy a house that's already built?
The process is, still the same, but you get to go, like, sometimes you can go and pick out your exact spot in the neighborhood. Like, you pick out the land and then you watch them build it literally from the ground up. And that's the cool part about it, because then you can pick out all of your fixtures, your flooring, your paint, um, everything. If you want them to, move, if you want them to take out a wall or add a wall, you can do that. You also have, like, where subdivisions are just built, and you can go into, like, the three different models, and you can choose, okay, I want the, this model, but can we change, like, the colors of the cabinets, or the floor, I'd rather have, marble instead of hardwood. But the process is still pretty much the same. You really don't need to do a home inspection, so you could save yourself the money on that, because everything they've put in there is brand new. You do want to get an appraisal, though, because I had a friend who, in North Carolina, she bought a new construction, and she called me. She's like, Kyla, the appraisal, it came in lower. And I was like, okay. I was like, renegotiate the price. She's like, but it's new construction. I don't care. Like, you can still renegotiate the price. It didn't appraise. So, but there's not that much difference.
Now, does it make a difference? Because I heard this and I thought it was kind of crazy, but I'm sure it's probably true. Because a lot of people want, like, corner houses, like on the corner.
Mhm.
Is it true that you pay tax for each side of the street because your house is on the corner?
No, whatever your house is assessed for, that's what you pay taxes on.
Because they told me, like, if you got a house on the corner and this is Smith Street and this is Elm Street, you pay taxes for both because your house sits on both streets.
No, I live on a corner.
Well, that's true. You do live on the corner. But, like, child, I always drive past your house anyway.
I
You
know.
always, Joe, why you sitting in front of that house? And I'm like, oh.
You did.
Well, for example, like Tracy's house, because she's right on the corner. So, like, the front side of her house is on one street, and then this side is on the. Because even when you navigate, it's trying to take you to this side of her house instead of this side. So it's like, because it kind of made sense to me. I thought it was not right, but at the same time, it kind of made sense that you would pay for being cat a corner on the street.
No, it's one lot. You pay taxes on the one lot, unless you're sitting on two. Now, if you're sitting on two different lots, then you're going to pay taxes on two lots. But if you're on the same lot, no.
Then it's just one price. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey, Antoine, thanks for coming in. You're going to have to watch the replay to learn something because you are actually in the process of buying a home in New Jersey. So you can call my cousin. It's on the corner of. Oh, now Antoine made sense because you know that happens in Jersey. What if your house is on the corner of two different cities? What if it's like the line that go from Newark to East Orange, and you right on the line, and
That's a
half
good,
of your house is in East Orange and half of your house is in Newark?
that's a good question. I don't know the answer though. I don't know the answer, but I would imagine it would be the same. It would whatever street, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever your address is.
Whatever your address is, like for what city, I would assume you would just pay those taxes. I can't imagine they'd make you, but who knows? I mean, the state of New Jersey, they get you going and coming.
Right. Hey, Monte, Jersey gets you going and coming. But I guess that actually was my question. He said it the way because it was somebody in New Jersey that told me that because you on the line, because you know there's a lot of streets in New Jersey,
Yeah.
the line, and your house had a corner here, and this would be Irvington, and this would be Newark. So it's like I guess it would go by your mailing address.
I would think it would go by your mailing address, but I'm
You
gonna find
know?
out. That's interesting.
No, because I heard that you paid taxes for both, but that's what it was. It wasn't the street; it was the line, being like on the line of both.
Mhm.
See, Antoine, you came in with something. You, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, hey Trisha. I think I said hi to you, but if I didn't, hi Trisha. So if y'all have any more questions for Kyla? And like I said, matter of fact, do y'all have any questions for Kyla? I'm going to pull up her link in the chat. You know what? This is the easier way for me to do this. Because you knew. So YouTube will take forever trying to pull you up. And I shared you on our community wall. Yep, there it is right there. So I will share, copy link. Now, do you have anything for? Okay, so what happens on closing day if somebody? Because I've heard of this happening. What happens on closing day if somebody just don't have all the money they said they had or thought they had? What happens at that? Or what if the bank or something happens and they want more money? Then what happens?
If you can't come up with the money, you do not get the house. Because what happens is usually like 24 hours before, 48 hours, they will run your information again to make sure you still have a job. And to make sure you haven't, because people have done this. They'll be in the process of buying a house and decide, oh, I need a new car too. And then you go buy a new car, which impacts your credit. You can't do that when you're buying a house. Like you literally, all of your purchases need to stop. If unless you can buy food and you can put gas in your car. Do not buy anything big when you're in the middle of a purchase. Because
And
if
they
you
should
get
have credit cards either way.
no, don't close out any credit cards, don't run up your credit cards. No, 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 no. Because if you get to closing and they run your information again and they see some discrepancies that weren't there before, they can decline you your mortgage and then you don't get the house.
Right. Because I had a car dealer tried to play me when I was in Maryland. I was trying to get that biggest Lexus truck they have. And he was like, your car note's going to be $700. I said, no, it's not.
Whew,
And
whew.
he, Well, you could get the smaller truck. That'll be 300. I said yes because I'm not. I'm trying to buy a house. If they see I got a car note for $700, they're gonna laugh at me. Oh, it's not gonna affect you. I said you're a liar.
It does. Mm-hmm.
Of course it does. A $700 car note, and I'm trying to buy a house.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Antoine says, "What if you pay more than expected to what? What if you pay more? I guess what if you pay more than on your mortgage? Don't you have to tell them to make some to principal and some to
To interest. It
yeah?
depends. You can make a, like, I know some people make an extra mortgage payment. So instead of you pay your mortgage once a month, so 12 months. Some people will make a 13th payment, so you make a whole full payment. But you can break it down, and or some people pay their mortgage bi-weekly. Um, but yeah, you could definitely do that, or you can, like you said, you can apply it to principal as opposed to the interest.
Because then it goes down faster.
And then right, your mortgage will go down faster. You'll pay it off faster.
Y'all, I dropped the link in the chat for Kyla's YouTube page. So y'all can subscribe to her YouTube page. Definitely go there, subscribe to her. And if you have questions, send them to her YouTube page. And I'm sure she's nice. She's one of my nicer cousins. She's not like me and Valerie. Valerie's not. Valerie has a low tolerance like I do. Kyla's one of the nicer ones that'll answer questions until you get on her nerves, and then she'll text me and say, "Joe, why does your friend keep asking me the same thing over and over again?" And I'll be like, "Don't worry, girl, I'll fix it. Stop texting her." But no, Kyla, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on. It was
Well,
my
thank
pleasure.
you for having me.
You're welcome. And I'm sure anybody else that's a content creator that may want to have her on your platform, set her up on her YouTube or hit me up or hit your mail up, and we'll make that happen for you guys. I know somebody else that did tell me they were interested in having you, so I just got to find out when, and then I'll give her your info and you her info. But
Okay.
I did want to have you on. It's basically do the same thing. But yes, y'all. I know y'all was sad because me and Tramel didn't come on today. But that happens sometimes. But I did come. I came with a Joseph Rants. This time I wanted Joseph Rants to be very informative. Not that my last one wasn't, because a lot of y'all said y'all got something out of my rant, honey, because I went off. And all of y'all said y'all needed to hear that word that day. Well, somebody needed to hear this word today. Melissa says, thank you, Kyla.
You're welcome.
So, y'all, we are going to get out of here. I'm going to let Kyla go tend to her babies because they still babies. Ain't my baby birthday? Wait, my baby birthday is Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Thursday? I always keep thinking her birthday is 2 days after Deja, but it's 3.
It's 3. Mm-hmm.
3. Yep, because Deja's birthday day. I text her, I say, happy birthday. She said, thank you.
Oh my God, they get so big. Between her,
I can't believe she's 15 today.
Me either.
Deja, 15. That means you getting old, girl.
It does, Joe.
I'm talking about next month because I'm happy to be this age. I am. God knows I'm happy I made it because so many of my friends didn't. But at the same time, it's just surreal that I'm going to be.
I wish we could party. Ugh.
Yes, me too. I don't have to have it on my birthday.
Okay.
I'm going to do my masquerade party one way or another. I am. I promise you. I'm going to. You got to come back on my birthday that Friday. Get your mask ready because I'm doing it virtually. I have to do it virtually. And y'all, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., join me and Travell for Imani Van Zap. She's going to help you get your shit together, and she's going to help you be calm. If you don't know who Imani Van Zap is, check her out on YouTube or check her out on Instagram. She has a lot of videos on Instagram, and she will be coming to help you get your shit together. And if you watch any of the Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas, Chasing New York shows, you know Imani Van Zant is the ones that speak wisdom and knowledge into the little young kids' heads. So me and Tramel have the privilege of interviewing her tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys are here, and we will be back in the morning with Coffee with the Kings. And yeah, we might get interrupted because you know I got me my furniture's coming tomorrow. I like this house, so I figure I'll put some furniture in it. But anyway, we are doing Coffee with the Kings tomorrow. Guys, thank you all for coming for Joseph Rants today with my special guest, Kyla Mallet. And y'all, you know how I end every show. Walk in peace, love, sunshine, and happiness. And always remember, it's Team McRae all damn day. Later, y'all. Hold on, Kyla. I want to say we all. I want to say, no, we're not all. This stream, y'all, is still not working right. Go off. Click me off, please. I'm done for the day. What is it telling me? Hold on. My blind ass can't see what this is saying.
Where are your glasses?
Downstairs. I only wear them when I'm going out. I'm gonna have to do it from Tramel's phone watch. Like the other day, it did the same thing. Because if I just close it out, we still gonna be on. Hold on. StreamYard, StreamYard, StreamYard. And we still going, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm. I see
I'm
the.
close out, and I am going. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call you back, but I'm
Okay.
gonna close you out. All right, babe.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, it won't even let me close you out.
Oh.
Okay, so we still here. Only me, honey. Only me. StreamYard is doing the most right now. Oh, now you by yourself. Wait, that muted you. I don't need you muted. I should have closed this out. That's why, because it's the messed up one Tremel used the last time we went live. All right, Kyla, just disconnect from it.
Okay.
There you go. Y'all, I'm out. StreamYard.